also successful when it comes to exits. In fact, you've had a fair degree of success when it comes to exits. The last one I think was what, Map My India, which Flipkart picked up from you. How have you gone about it? I mean, how come you've been able to successfully exit and some of the others haven't?
I think recognizing two things, that it is time to exit and being realistic about how to make a deal happen. I'm a real believer that a good exit means it has to be a plus for the buying company and plus for us as well. And that's what we do. We position the company, we change things around, we change the cost structure, we define the management of the company, that it will be a good, thing for somebody to buy. 6 months or a year before, we start preparing for an eventual exit. Now, it is tough to get the entrepreneurs across the line saying, well, it is time to throw in the towel. Throwing the towel is the wrong word, but it's time to understand that we are not an IPO-able company. Let's find a way out of it in a very thoughtful, clear way.
Are you in preparation mode right now?
Always in a preparation mode, and we're going to have some exits, of course, going forward in the next 6 months.
At this point in time, are you going to be deploying capital? You raised a significant amount of money last year.
In the last 6 months, we have made actually more new investments than we have in almost any time in the history of Nexus. So we are, making investments. We will continue to make investments. Our thinking has evolved to some extent. So, for example, our investment may be smaller in size. Instead of investing $5 million in a company to start with, we might invest 2 or 3. Because of various factors, things may not happen as quickly, labor costs are a bit lower today. So we change the parameters, but number of investments we have made today in the last 6 months is more than we have ever done in the history of Nexus. So we are going to be going out there and making investments and see how it goes. And, I think it is one of those things is that you want to be an aggressive investor when everybody is worried about saving their companies. We have less competition clearly right now. But I would say that...
So would you say that you're at your most aggressive today?
I say that most aggressive in terms of number of companies we are investing in. Not most aggressive in terms of valuations or a number of other things. And more realistic in many ways, expecting companies to take longer to mature today than we might have a couple of years ago. Because one thing that is the negative side of this drop in valuation also is that it could become more difficult for startups to hire big executives in large companies. They're saying, well, I have to wait now, 8 years to get a liquidity. And so I think that's a negative side of it we have to keep in mind is that could be very detrimental to the startups.
To the entrepreneurs who are watching this show, what would the key insights and the key takeaways be that you would like to share with them?
I think the key thing for them is to focus on creating a good business. Focus on creating a business that's defensible, where the details are done right, a business that has a strong foundation. What they should not be doing is worry about short-term metrics. I have 1,000 customers, my competitor has 500 customers, things like that. I think that's really what has done the most damage to these companies. Build basic technology, build great products, focus on customer satisfaction, not on revenue in the beginning. Because if you can get 100 great customers who sing your praises, soon you will have 1 million. But if you have 1 million customers, half of them are complaining about the service, you'll be out of business one of these days. Put yourself in the shoes of the investors. What are they looking for? Be open and honest with them. Listen to them. You don't have to act on what they're saying, but try to internalize what's being said to you. Other thing entrepreneurs have to do, and investors too, is the life is a kind of a strange mixture of patience and impatience. I think there are things, you want to build a great product, it's going to require some patience. You can't build great products overnight. You can't have a great marketing programs overnight. But when you make a decision, be super impatient about implementing that decision. Don't keep thinking about it for a week or 2 or 3.
Since we're here in the Valley and we're talking about, of course, what Indian entrepreneurs need to do and which Indian companies are looking exciting, but as you sit here today, which are the companies that you believe that you would have liked to bet on or you would like to bet on?
The 3 companies I would bet on is Facebook I would put as number 1.
Why is that?
They have figured out how to connect with people and how to, and in the end, Facebook is not really a social network or even a platform. It's an engine that can create new products. their capability to create products and connect with people is so dramatically good that I would say I would put Facebook
at number one.
Or maybe Amazon or Facebook at number one, and I'll put Microsoft as a third company in that space. I think Microsoft has really changed since Satya came on board as CEO. It's really a remarkable transformation of a large company. It's like turning an oil tanker around 360 degrees in 1 minute.
Where's Google on that list?
I shouldn't say that. My friend is now going to be unhappy about what I say. I say, Google, yes, of course. Google is a great company as well. I would definitely say.
But not in your top three?
I have to say that because they're growing faster. Well, maybe Microsoft maybe is not, but Google is an incredibly good company.
We always have these, I would say, silly comparisons. Are we going to see a Facebook out of India and so on and so forth? I mean, there's no point having a Facebook out of India because Facebook already exists, so there's no point trying to take that position. But do you believe that we are close to seeing that kind of success of an Indian company?
Yes, I think we'll have a success like that in India. It could be in healthcare space, that it's an environment where greater companies could be created in India. But I do believe that if you give us the next 10 years, there will be a global tech company of the same impact. Let
me end by asking you, how much worse is it going to get for the Indian startup ecosystem in India before it starts to get better? You said that those who are saying that we are going to be seeing the obituaries of at least a bunch of the celebrated stories are not far from reality, not far from the truth.
That's right.
How much worse is it going to get before it starts to get better?
Well, I think, I don't know the answer to that question, but what I will say is this, that we need to see some of these companies die. Need is the wrong word. I think we will not reach the bottom until some of these companies die. I don't know which the companies will be, and time will tell. I think that is really what cleanses the system.
Do you believe that we're going to see a demise within the Indian Unicorn Club?
Absolutely, 100% certainly.
100% certainly?
100% certainly. You will quote me in a year. Absolutely, 100% certainly you'll have some of the unicorns not really make it. Could be our companies, could be some other companies. Absolutely, 100%.
So the e-commerce the most vulnerable, you think, within that club?
Well, we don't know. We don't know. I think it's very hard to sort of say that. I mean, clearly, e-commerce has more unicorns, so I guess probability-wise, it's going to be a unicorn that goes away. Probably will be e-commerce. But I think absolutely. I think, well, you're seeing in the U.S., so why should India be any different? I mean, in the U.S., we have seen out of the 150 unicorns that were here 6 months ago, maybe 10, 20 are not either, gone away or, are not unicorns anymore. So, why should India be spared
the pain?
The pain.
Or the reality check.
Or the reality check. I think it will really educate people much better on what, do's and don'ts, rather than my saying it or you're saying it. Shereen, you have been saying a lot of these things for a long time as well. I mean, I see some of the things you say on your show, and I think that's what is really needed. That's what is going to happen. I just don't know what it will be, and there's no point speculating. I think we have to be, they're all good people. I would say that Flipkart founders are exceptional people, exceptionally good people they are. But, sometimes circumstances don't work to your advantage,
It's not going to be good for the ecosystem, at least in the short term, because, after such a long time, we've discovered this sort of entrepreneurial zeal within the community that didn't have links to business. These are first generation entrepreneurs. So in that sense, it puts the fear of failure and the stigma of failure that, we've tried so hard to get rid of back on the table. But I guess this is part of the process.
Well, I would say that let's not sort of call it a stigma, because no matter what happens to any of these companies,
they've done a great job.
They have done an incredible job. They have, lived an incredible life. They have done created an example for lots of people. And, in the short term, it will be pain and it will be a bit of a negative, but in the longer term, it will be super positive. Because, that's what happened in the Valley. When those days going out of business, in 2001, thereabouts, after raising $1 billion in a year, of course, $1 billion those days means $10 billion today, but, so it was like raising $10 billion that time. There was a lot of kind of a self-doubt and introspection. Am I really good enough to start a company? But a lot of good came out of it. I mean, I don't know if, a lot of these companies we talk about today, whether it is Yelp or it is, any number of these companies, could have really been born if those things had not gone away.
Right.
But I think India, the change in India is irreversible. I would put it that way. I think, it is an irreversible change. I think we are going to have startups, and I think we are going to have bigger and better startups.
Well, on that note, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much, as always, for giving us time on Young Turks and speaking with us. With that, it is time for us to wrap up this special edition of Young Turks from us from here in the Valley. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.